Esa enai el hearim, Esa enai el hearim, Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri, Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri, Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri, Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri. El HaRachman, source of compassion in the universe, you've taken a beloved one from us. We are gathered together today in praise to the source of life, thanking goodness for Arlene's life, thanking goodness for the good judgment, the determination, the hope and inspiration provided by her mere presence on this earth. Her family grieves. There is lamentation in their tears. Be with them, O God, hear them. Let us all draw comfort today from loved ones and communities of meaning and shared purpose. And of course, from the words and emphases of the teachings of our tradition. Psalm 15 echoes in the life of Arlene Goldberg. Adonai mi yagur ba'ohalecha, mi yishkon bahar kodshecha, God, who abides in your house, who dwells in your holy mountain? Those who are upright, who do justly, who speak the truth in their hearts, who do not slander others or wrong them or bring shame upon them, who give their word and come what may, do not retract, who do not exploit others, who would never take bribes. Those who live in this way, the way in which Arlene Goldberg lived, they shall never, ever be shaken. Amen. It strikes me knowing and having heard from her children praise for the house that she kept and the standards by which she kept it. Amidst all the noise and the distraction, God could dwell in her house because she kept a clean house. A house with clear rules. A house with a clear role model. With someone guiding them, supporting them. Death has taken Arlene, but her love that united us in life, death cannot sever that. Her companionship, which is shared today along life's path, this continues in the tenderness of memory. And for the gifts of her heart, her big heart, and her fine mind, they are a precious remembrance. In this time of grief, we listen carefully to what is said, and what is left unsaid, and to the recognition that all of us must die. That which is given to us is but lent. There does come a time when we surrender. Friends, as we continue with our memorial today, I want to share with you that your presence today means a great deal to this family. All of you gathered here and those who are connecting with this memorial online, you should only know how much it means. The family will continue after with a service of interment at Zion Memorial, and then they'll continue this afternoon, just when I have the address right, this afternoon at 6016 Catalano Drive in Mayfield Heights until 8 p.m. and on Sunday from 1 to 5 p.m. They invite you, if you wish to support them and to remember Arlene in a beautiful way, to do so with contributions to the American Cancer Society. And of course, they invite your continued gestures, loving condolences, and memories of their dear one in the days and weeks to come. Contemporary Rabbi Chaim Stern wrote the following words that form a meditation. He wrote, "The light of life is a finite flame. Like a Sabbath candle, life is kindled, it burns and glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty. But it fades. Its substance is consumed and it is no more. In light we are seen, in light we are seen. The flames dance and yet our life does burn down and gutter. There is an end to flames. We see no more and are no more seen. But we do not despair. For we are more than a memory slowly fading into darkness. With our lives, with her life, she gave life. And so something of us never dies. We move forward in the eternal cycle of darkness, death, light, and life." The words of this meditation remind me of a human being, Arlene Goldberg, a precious one who walked among us for decades. Her goodness, depth, determination, hope, and resilience were all forces to be reckoned with in this community. Her accomplishments, detailed in the obituary, are outstanding. They should be. She wrote the obituary. It didn't meet up to exact standards, but it got fixed here and there. No nips and tucks, just beautiful reminders of the truth that her energy shined and sparkled. It drew many to adventures in their life, but most important to her, it shined and sparked for her kids and grandkids, and much of today's service will be their remembrances, their tributes that will radiate through this chapel. I didn't get the blessing to know her during her lifetime, but I hope that in the time I've begun to spend with her family, that some of her essence absorbs into me. The way Arlene took what came to her in life, making the best of it, and also because of her creativity, the way Arlene believed in new ways to exceed anyone's expectations. This was a trailblazer, making her own light-filled path. We grieve today with Ivy and her Mark, Lori and her Frank, Stacy and her Andrew, and Sherry, and we remember her beloved Jonathan with gratitude for his life and love. Arlene is the matriarch of this family, one whose death signals the sense of completeness, in that she will be laid to rest this afternoon next to her beloved husband, but also the one whose death signals the first pangs of acceptance that an era is over. It's been a long time since these daughters lost their father, these sons-in-law lost their father-in-law. It is up to each of them now to carry on traditions, yes, but more than that, create new opportunities and new blessings ahead. Life has granted new matriarchal status to 4 daughters quite used to Arlene's dominant energy. We believe in them. This is a group of potent and talented, courageous, and boisterous sources of energy. In Motown musical terms, their mom was their Diana Ross, but they are each supremely talented and supportive. To their mom, and as a mom, and as sisters and aunts, caregivers, one to the other, and to every generation. And as if that weren't enough, there are 8 supremely admired granddaughters who know what I'm talking about, who I'm guessing have long seen how their moms or aunts cared for and sought care from the one called Grandmaline. To the granddaughters, Grandmaline was a proud example of what it means to be strong in the face of a long and contentious, challenging battle with cancer. But long before that, strong in her virtues to work, to give, to learn, to carve out new markets in their business, to be oriented to lasting and trusting relationships in a community. And we grieve with them. We grieve with Samara and her Adam, Risa, Lindsay and her Matt, Jessica and Nick, Danielle, Heather and her Jeremy, Rachel and her Jason, Haley and her Matt. Her earliest memories were joyful. Joyful as the daughter to Icky and Frida Mesnick, sister to Stan and Richard, who could not be with us today, but whose blessings extend to us from a distance. It's hard to imagine that a woman who died this St. Patrick's Day as a Grandmaline, and she would want me to remind you, a great Grandmaline, to Lily, Charles, and Eli, that she was once someone's descendant and not their ancestor. But she was born a bright new light to her parents. Her voracious energy made strong bonds with her brothers. If your heart belonged to someone that she loved, Arlene wanted you to feel that you were in with her too. Blessings known by sisters-in-law Sherry and the late Jackie, also brother-in-law, the late Ted. Her teen involvement growing up in BBG was a sorority of sisters that carried into B'nai B'rith Women and Jewish Women International, multiple lifelong friendships and connections that served her well and that she served. They knew her as outgoing, curious, funny, talented. Why? Because she was involved in roles of leadership locally and regionally. Most of her friends from this era predeceased her. But if there is a place where souls reunite after this life, surely Arlene will be there or is already there, embedded with the souls of good friends, enjoying new songs and musical bits that she's writing so that they can sing and laugh and take joy in one another's lives well lived and souls fulfilled. In just a moment, I'll call on grandchildren and then children to share memories and salient traits that comfort them. I know we'll be reminded as they grieve that such memories, values, and traits, what we stand for and what we won't stand for in this lifetime, none of that is buried when our weary bodies go to their rest. Certainly not after 86 years. No, the loving remembrances we make with those we encounter are handed out as gifts to them, meaningful gifts. Stories and values held by Arlene take place all over the world. They shine in the deeds of Lori and Ivy carrying on the vital work of the travel company she proudly led for decades. The brother from their actual mother, that business, that extra sibling of theirs, the fifth child, they called it. And the memories also take place in a little apartment in Euclid and later a home in Mayfield Heights. They take place at Brush High School. The stories of her life take place as west as Willowick and as near to here as the site of the community temple in June of 1954, where she got married to the one whom her soul adored and by whom she will be laid to rest this afternoon. I'm told that as recently as last week, she was busy sharing advice and input to Lindsay and Rachel about carrying on in her spirit, working hard, and earning a lot of money, and investing it well. Beyond formal advice, near the end of her life, during the substantial portion of all their lives, of all of the grandchildren that have been overlapped with her, she gave advice by example, in that no matter how far she traveled, she remained invested in Cleveland, this community that nurtured her, enveloped her, and she invested in it and its success. And no matter how hard she worked, as she certainly did, Arlene knew that time was precious. She made time wherever she needed to, when family or friends needed support, or when there was joy that she yearned to grab. Poolside summer picnics, or bundled up in colder weather. Arlene knew the difference between weekday, weekend, home, and vacation, holy and profane, worthy and trivial. According to Psalm 90, which is often read at occasions like this, a good long life, according to our sages, might last 80 years and 10, or given strength 80 or more. But the best of those years includes trouble and sorrow. And so we are bidden each day to count each moment precious, that it lead us toward a heart of wisdom. A heart of wisdom. A chacham lev. A wise and shrewd heart, a discerning human being, one whose choices forever impacted her dearest ones, whose adventure and energy guided so many more. There is a teaching in Jewish tradition that offers that the day of one's death is actually preferred to the day of birth. The rabbis explain this strange assertion by means of a parable. They speak of two ships passing one another in the harbor. There was a ship that was just setting sail, and there was a ship coming in. But the people at dockside, they cheered and spoke with praise only of the ship coming in. Why? Because she had gone out in peace and returned home in peace. As the ship just setting sail, who knew whose lives would be touched by that journey? I share that story as a reminder of two main assertions. One is, this woman placed her feet on 130 or more ships in her lifetime. She saw a great deal of the world. She set standards high. She wanted to experience and also to give of her experience that others might find happiness and possibility. But also because, in a way, today and throughout this period of mourning, we might see ourselves as at dockside. We are here to welcome her home. Let's welcome her home, her wise heart, and the good name she earned. Amen. As I've mentioned earlier, I'm going to call now on grandchildren and then children who wish to come forward to share some of their individual memories and remembrances and tribute to this marvelous person. Don't all come running at once. But you can come up as a group as you wish, whoever is planning to speak.
For those who don't know me, my name is Rachel, or as my grandma called me, Ray-Faye. I have the extreme honor of being one of Grandma's 8. Through her love, compassion, perseverance, and caring soul, she created a family of warm-hearted and beautifully strong women. I'm lucky to have continued the Goldberg lady legacy with my daughter and introduced the first male descendant for her into our group of girls only. I have countless memories that I will cherish of my grandma. A few of my favorites. I will always remember going to dinner after seeing a show and watching her order a larger beer than me. Swimming at Club Goldberg and having to take a ride on the Deer before leaving. Watching her hold my children at the hospital and being the proud great-grandma she was. Hanukkah parties in the living room where the grandkids were spoiled with presents and joy. The one year it looked as though we owned every Beanie Baby in the state. The first holidays without my grandpa were very hard for me. I remember one in particular. My grandma brought me up to her room and gave me an extra gift to open, something small, but to put a big smile on my face. It was a Harry Potter light-up pen. She hugged me and told me we were going to be okay. We sat there for a few minutes before returning. And I look back now and think how strong she was to have just lost her true love, but still hold us all up. One of my favorite places to visit growing up was the office. I would wish for Take Your Child to Work Day to come around, a snow day, or any random day to be there. I thought it was so cool that my mom got to work with her family. I would sit at the old typewriter and pretend to be a star agent like my grandma, typing out trips, letters, and a bill to my mom for the work I completed that day. While flipping through travel brochures, I would plan out trips to be a globetrotter like she was. When I was older and given filing jobs, I thought to myself, I am finally part of the action travel team. I grew up in the office watching my grandma run the world. When her office was vacant, usually after everybody had gone home and no one was looking, I would sneak in there and sit in her chair, always putting it back in the same spot, pretending to be the boss. While sitting there, I would look across the room and see my family looking back at me from our frames that were all meticulously in age order. She was proud of her accomplishments, but her family was with her every step of the way. My grandma was a work warrior, so she could be our family's superwoman. She made everybody feel special, and everyone was special to her. Her home is a gallery of her travels and memories of the people that brought joy and happiness to her life. Thank you, Grandma, for all the love you have given me over the years. You will forever be in my heart, and I will feel your presence each time a butterfly comes my way. I know you are cruising around the world with Grandpa now. I love you, Ray-Faye.
Hi, everyone. I'm Haley, Arlene's granddaughter. Some of you may not know this, but my grandma and I lived together from the time I was 6 until I was 18. She wasn't just my grandma. She was a constant in my life, someone who shaped so much of who I am today, and I know she meant so much to all of you, too. Death is the only guarantee in this life, isn't it? It's something we all know is coming, but it still catches us off guard. And when it happens, it gives us the chance to reflect, to think about what someone meant to us, how they lived, and how they'll be remembered. And today, that's what we're here to do, to celebrate my grandma's life and all the ways she touched ours. Work was such a huge part of who she was. She only just retired a few months ago, and honestly, I think working is what kept her going for so long. She was the hardest worker I've ever known. Back in the 80s, she started her own travel agency, something she built from the ground up. That's pretty remarkable, isn't it? She loved to travel, to see the world, and help others do the same. But more than that, she worked tirelessly to care for all of us. She was passionate, determined, and always gave everything she had. And then there was her love. If you knew her, you knew she was everybody's grandma. She never forgot a birthday, holiday, anniversary, or milestone. Growing up, she always gave us those musical birthday cards that the second you open it up, it starts playing a song. She loved music, and even as the years went on, when she switched to e-cards, they were still custom to us and musical. And thanks to AI, she even found ones that sang our names. She had this way of making everyone feel special. She was the heart of every gathering, the life of the party, the host, and the party itself. Honestly, I think it's fitting that she chose St. Patrick's Day to leave us. She loved a good theme, and if there was ever a day to celebrate during this time of year, it was that one. But really, any excuse to bring people together was her specialty. Her home was always open, always filled with laughter, music, and love. Whether it was a holiday dinner, birthday party, or just a random Saturday at the pool, she made sure everyone felt welcome, and that was her superpower. My grandma had so many interests, and I'll always remember the little things that made her her. First of all, she had amazing style. She loved fashion and jewelry, and she always looked put together. And something I did not write, but she would like you all to know to never fly wearing sweatpants. You'll never get an upgrade. She was a huge TV buff. She loved giving recommendations like Breaking Bad, Ozark, Wentworth, Queen of the South, and The Crown. We just started watching Severance, and I think she would have really loved it. One of her favorite shows was Yellowstone. Funny enough, about an hour after she passed, I got an ad for that show on my phone, and I couldn't help but smile and think it was her saying, you know, you should really watch this. She loved music, especially by the pool. The Beach Boys were always playing in the background, and now every time I hear them, I'll think of her. She was also surprisingly tech-savvy for a grandma, which always impressed me. She could figure out anything on her phone or computer, and she loved staying connected with everyone. The truth is, she wanted to still be here. She loved her family more than anything. And the hardest part of all of this wasn't her battle with cancer. It was her deciding to let go and leave the family she and the family she built. But even though she's gone, she'll always be here with us in the stories we tell, in the memories we share, and the love she gave us that will carry forever. One last thing. You'll see we're all wearing butterflies and pins and clips in our hair. Butterflies were her favorite. They're a beautiful symbol of change, hope, and carrying on, even when things feel uncertain. And now whenever we see one, we'll know it's her saying, hello, and reminding us to keep moving forward just like she always did, always evolving, always finding beauty in life, and now she's part of that beauty. So as we say goodbye today, let's remember her for all she was, a hard worker, a lover of life, a woman with incredible style, and most of all, someone who loved her family deeply. She'll be missed more than words can say, but her legacy will live on in all of us. With all my love, Haley.
Hopefully you guys can see me. I'm a little short. Hi everyone, I'm Jessica and I'm Arlene's favorite granddaughter. Kidding, of course. My grandma was someone you only come across once in a lifetime. To know her is to truly love and admire her. She had a radiant presence in any room she walked into and always looked put together and effortlessly beautiful. She took on many roles in her life, from daughter, sister, wife, and mother, to business owner, entrepreneur, world traveler, TV star. But to me, she was grandma, and she made our childhood magic. Anyone who knows the famous Goldberg pool knows that that's where all childhood summers were spent, from playing endless games in the pool, doing gymnastics in the yard, swinging on the swing in the shade, secretly trying to sit on the deer statue, and sneaking a spray of sunscreen on the pool deck. It was the golden age of childhood, and it's where some of my most special memories were made. My grandma was at every dance recital, summer softball game, sponsoring our softball teams, cheer and sporting event, high school graduation, and always supporting everything we did, telling us we were always the best one out there. She would call me her protege, and once had me pretend I went on a cruise I had never been on, so that I could be on TV with her during her travel segment to talk about it. She lived her life to the fullest and traveled the entire world. I was lucky enough to travel with her to many places as well, like Florida, Put-in Bay, Niagara Falls, Arizona, and Aruba. The Aruba trip we took was my favorite. My grandma, my mom, and I all went together, and I'll always cherish that trip. From sunbathing together until it was too hot for any of us to be in the sun, which says a lot because my mom and grandma are some of the biggest sunbathers, to grandma and I laughing and giggling off one glass of wine, saying we're drunk, to shopping in the boutiques and markets together. I'm forever grateful for those memories. Although she loved to travel and see the world, her family and being home meant the most to her. She lived a beautiful life and created a big, beautiful family that has so much love at the center. I will forever look up to her and inspire to be more like her in everything I do. I aspire to have her incredible superwoman strength, her positive outlook on life, her work ethic and drive, her passion and curiosity to see the world, and her deep maternal love to lead a family and raise strong, amazing children. Grandma, you will forever be with me in everything I do and everywhere I go. Your love, your light, and your legacy are eternal. This is actually really sad. I feel like I never cry. But it's just like, I'm not going to come up here with a speech. But I'm going to come up here with a story. Because I think it's going to make everyone feel a little bit better. Because it makes me feel a little bit better. But when I was little, it was named after my grandpa. I never got to meet him. But I'd talk to him and like a little psycho. And I was on their swing by myself, like a loner. And I think I was like maybe, admittedly, like 10. And this was right before she was going to come out and offer me chips. But I was like, Grandpa, like, everyone's chill, like, my mom's doing good. She's up there, she's swimming, your wife's doing great. Like, how are you? And like, the weather's great. All the things. And I kind of just like would always seek out like a little thing that somebody was there. And I was walking out to the pool. And I was like, if there's any chance you're listening, like, I'm gonna look down and see a 4-leaf clover. And I saw 2. And I've never seen any more in my entire life, but I've always kept them. And so I think that she's out there with him, and I think that that's all you could really ask for. Because you look in the room, and honestly, that's my Thanksgiving dinner, like, straight up. And I think that's kind of like, it's kind of the point of it all, right? So I think that to all of us, this should be a celebration, because she loved a good theme. And if there was a theme going on, the Beach Boys would be on right now. And she'd be singing along like she always did. Maybe a different song that was really old. And all of us would say, please change the playlist. This is really bad. God, it would be, I mean, no one wanted to upset her. And we'd be like, please just turn it down a little bit. But she did give a love for music and a love for life. And I think that she really does symbolize the importance of just love, and that's kind of the point of it all. So, Grandma, for you, I'm going to have as many children as I could and travel the world, and I think that's kind of just cherishing everybody in your life. So, thank you all for being here, and I know she'd be grateful for you being here too.
Our grandma was truly a force, the glue and cornerstone to our family, an industry leader in her career, and the kind of lady who makes you feel like anything is possible if you put your mind to it. My grandma and aunts were trailblazing as a woman-owned and operated business. I often think about how incredible it is to come from women who showed us you can be a professional and a mom before society made it seem possible. Her, my aunts, and her devoted team incredibly kept Action Travel flourishing through many hardships, the post-9/11 travel dip, and even during COVID. Even during hard times, she found a way and persisted.
Stopping at her office after school was an absolute treat. I loved getting to see all the action. I used to sit at her big conference table, flipping through the dense vacation catalogs, dreaming of the lavish vacations she was planning for her clients. I used to feel like a VIP walking into her office, getting to spend time with the head honcho as she sat behind her big desk. Although she was extremely work-minded when she was at work, her office was a gallery of photos of her family, all of us. My grandma had an accomplished career, and after moving to Cleveland, whenever any of my friends' parents or grandparents realized I was one of Arlene Goldberg's granddaughters, I felt like a celebrity. The way the community admired her is something I will never forget. My work ethic, as well as my travel bug, are certainly inspired by my grandma. A trait that I'm certain was genetically passed down is our love for the beach. Because we couldn't be at the beach all the time, my grandma turned her backyard into Club Goldberg. My favorite and best memories are of lazy summer afternoons floating in her pool, catching up with all the aunts and cousins, getting as much sun as possible. It was always an open house, so you could stop by on any nice day to find my grandma out at the pool with a warm smile, offering a cold drink, a snack, and a few hours of relaxation. In fact, in one of our last conversations, she said to me that she knows I'd rather be in Miami Beach, but I'd need a house in Cleveland too so I can be close to my family. She taught us all how to be an excellent host. She always welcomed our friends like they were part of the family, making them seem like they were part of our bunch too. She treated my dad and uncles like sons, and all of our boyfriends and some now husbands like grandsons. She set the gold standard for how to welcome someone into our family. My grandma taught us that your life can be whatever you want. Some of the many qualities I admired in her were her intelligence and wit, resilience and work ethic, and her ability to make everyone feel welcome and at home. I learned by example that family comes first, and whenever any of us were in need, everyone would make whatever accommodations necessary to be there for one another. My grandma was fiercely proud of all of us. My grandma documented everything, and in fact, if you look in her camera roll or on her computer right now, I'm sure there are hundreds of candid photos of all of us. But I always loved that she did that because it was a reminder that these memories in our family are like the whole point. When I joined BBG in high school and subsequently forced Lindsay and Haley to join as well, and worked my way up through the ranks of leadership, I knew she was proud of me for following in her B'nai B'rith women footsteps, and she honored me by passing down one of her pins. I love the way that my grandma made each of us feel special. She loved whatever we loved. With a big family like ours, I could imagine it would be easy to get lost in the mix, but I feel like each of us never did, with her always remembering our special interests and hobbies. The love she poured into all of us shaped us all into who we are and will forever be tangible. I also loved the way she'd wink at you if you caught her gaze after saying something funny or slick, like the two of you had a little secret. The way she'd appreciate a good accessory or a new pair of shoes, letting you know you looked very sharp. When I purchased a new car a few years ago, a white Lexus sedan, she made me feel extra proud that we would now match. Her seal of approval meant the world to me. I feel like my grandma just got all of us. Although we are each unique and different, she accepted all of us for exactly as we are. The way my grandma lived life is a testament that you can make all your dreams come true. You don't need anyone's permission but your own. I know my grandma is blissfully sitting on the beach somewhere, golden tan, enjoying a drink with my grandpa. I also want to add that this morning, a close family friend texted me, my mom, and my sister and reminded us that now that my dad and grandma have been reunited, he can get back to work on her to-do list, making sure everything is in top shape and in working order. And even now, as I'm looking down at my hands holding my phone, I notice a cuticle that needs to be clipped, and I know one of my aunts, and definitely there's probably 5 cuticle clippers all over my grandma's house that I can use when I go there to get it. We gather here today to celebrate my mom's beautiful life. As many of you know, my mom was a natural in front of a crowd, a true TV personality. Public speaking was her thing. Me, not so much. So I'm going to do my best to get through this. The words of a familiar poem echo in my mind. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glint on the snow. I am the sunlight on the ripened grain. I am the gem. I am the swift, uplifting rush of quiet birds in circling flight. I am the soft starlight at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I am in your heart forever. My mom's presence was a gift, a constant, unwavering force in our lives. She found such joy in her work and her family, her friends and her home. She loved to document the time spent with her family, whether it was a family meal or a pool day at Club Goldberg or a holiday party, any reason to gather and celebrate, my mom was all in for it. Her laughter, her big smile, her need for perfection will forever be etched in our memories. She taught us the importance of kindness, the power of resilience, and the beauty of her unconditional love. She faced her illness with grace and strength, always finding the silver lining. Even after her most challenging treatments, she'd insist on going out for lunch, saying it was her treat to herself. And she'd order her favorite, a burger and fries, and don't forget the milkshakes. Even in the face of adversity, she always had the determination to live life to the fullest. She had a remarkable ability to make everyone feel seen and valued, to offer words of wisdom and encouragement. I'm so grateful for the life that we had together, the memories that we shared, from everyday moments to the extraordinary celebrations that will be treasured forever. My mom's strength and courage are woven into the fabric of who I am today. The memories we shared will be with me until my last breaths. As the poem reminds us, she's truly not gone. She lives in 1,000 winds that blow, in the sunlight, on the ripened grain, and in the love that resides in our hearts. Let us not dwell on the sadness of her passing, but rather celebrate the beautiful life that she lived and the indelible mark she left on each of us. Let us carry her love with us. Let it guide us. Let it remind us to live in each day with the same kindness, strength, and joy that she embodied. Whenever the sun would come out, my mom would say, "Look, the sun came out just for us." And you look around everyone today. Today's a beautiful, gorgeous, sunny day. And I think she made sure of that. Thank you, Mom, for everything. I love you. You'll be missed forever.
I think most of you know I'm Stacy, another daughter. This is my mom. Most of us have known her as Superwoman. Today, she was always loved sparkle. I am wearing one of her many hundreds of favorite necklaces today. My mom was the matriarch of our family. She was strong, independent, creative, loving, in all of what we have all spoken about today. Most of all, she was a fierce fighter of multiple myeloma for over 13 years. She fought it like a warrior until what I thought was an unexpected end. For some reason, I thought she would live on for many more years, as I was already planning on how we were going to celebrate her 90th birthday in a few years. My mom loved to celebrate every birthday in a big way, and she fought until she could no longer. I will miss all of our text messages, my almost daily visits, talking about the newest Netflix shows, and even running her errands. Mama Arlene was so proud and loved all of her daughters and our better half. She adored all of her 8 granddaughters, but most, she loved her 3 great-grandchildren. They were her number one. They could do no wrong. Now, everyone knows my mom has a lot of mirrors and windows, floor-to-ceiling windows in her house. As we were growing up, we were not allowed to get too close to the windows and mirrors because we might get dust on them or fingerprints on them. So there goes the next generation, the granddaughters. They were not allowed to touch the mirrors and windows because if they did, she'd get mad at them because they were fingerprinting them. The grandchildren, great-grandchildren could come over and do whatever they want. My grandson came over and was licking the mirrors a few weeks ago, and I said, Mom, she says, leave him alone, he's fine. So, and that's the truth. We should all live life like Arlene did and appreciate every day and live each day to its fullest. As I say goodbye to my loving mama, I am grateful for the life you gave me. Now you are no longer suffering. If there is an afterlife, I hope it's filled with peace and love with all those who you have loved, and it's filled with lots of butterflies.
This is the longest Jewish service she ever put up with. But I wanted to say she had a sense of humor about all that. I hope that she would and that her daughters will when I tell them that I took a picture of the letter that was written by one of your Machatonim. Yeah, and half of it is not blurry. So I'm going to read that half now, and the rest will come at Shiva. The blurry is my part. I apologize. Dear Arlene, how proud you should be of your accomplishments as you celebrate your 85th birthday. This was written on November 1st of 2023. You'll note you have 4 beautiful, devoted daughters, 8 wonderful granddaughters, and 2, and at the time, 3/4 great-grandchildren, all of whom love you and care for you so much. You began and nurtured a successful business to become the leading travel agency in the city, and you became a TV star, promoting exciting trips to take and travel correspondent for the Jewish News. The letter on the second page goes on to describe her creativity, her talent, her sense of hope, devotion, and so many of the joyful memory making that has already been heralded. For everything there is a season, a time for each experience under heaven, A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to uproot what is planted, a time to tear down, a time to build up, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to grieve, and a time to dance, a time to throw stones, a time to gather them, a time to embrace, a time to pause from embracing, a time to seek, and a time to lose, a time to keep, and a time to discard, a time to tear, a time to sow, a time to keep silence, and a time to speak. We have given voice to so much today. This is a time to remember. Remember all she lived for. All our yearnings to live in emulation of her by cherishing and counting each moment precious. Please rise for the El Male prayer. El male rachamim, shochem b'amromim, חמצי מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה, עם קדושים וטובים כזוהר הרקיע מזכירים, את נשמת אברהם בת יצחק ופרידה שהלכה לעולמה, בעל הרחמים יסתיריה בסתר כנפיו לעולמים, ויצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתה. אדוני הוא נחלתה, ותנוח בשלום על משכבה, ונאמר, Amen. Compassionate One, Eternal Spirit in the universe, grant rest in your sheltering presence to Arlene Goldberg as she enters eternity. God of mercy, let her find refuge in the shadow of your wings. Let her soul be bound up in the bonds of everlasting life. She is a good inheritance. She was an excellent human being. May she rest in peace. Let us say, Amen.
If I can ask the pallbearers to please step on either side of the casket, please. And we're just going to wait. Pallbearers, when we're ready, we're going to lift up on the casket, walk towards the double doors.
Adonai Lord, the Lord my shepherd shall not want. Makes me lie down in green pastures. Leads me beside the still waters and restores my soul. Guides me in straight paths for the sake of his name. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil.
We're going to pass it forward, gentlemen, but we're not going to let go. We're going to keep passing forward.
Services today, and we will be going to the cemetery. Please put your lights on and before we flash your lights.
Well, we're going to the car right here.
We need to close the doors, please.
Oh, so where should I go meet her? Or?
Yeah, I need it at the front.
At the front. Okay, thank you.